Hey there guys, Rick here, back again for another Q&A session. Firstly, I want to say my t-shirt store is now open. I'm wearing one and I hope you'll agree that it looks pretty cool. Really comfy as well, really good quality stuff. Yeah, so I'll left the link in the description box for you below to check it out. There's lots of designs. There's designs for the guys that are into my Quick But Slick Lick series, lots of different ones there. There are also designs for guys into going to the gym or keeping fit, but you know, you don't have to. It's more of a sort of approach to lifestyle than anything else. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've got to go to the gym to be into that kind of thing. So please do check the t-shirts out, link in the description box below. Okay, let's get on with this Q&A session. I'm going to go through more questions than I usually do this session, so I'm just going to blast through some of them. So these came from my Facebook fan page. The first one is from Andreas Erd. He says, "Hey Rick, I know I posted this question several times, but I'm still interested how you're going to approach it. I've started to work a few weeks ago besides playing and practicing. How did you manage your daily schedule or plan in order to practice really effectively? I've got about 8 to 5 hours maximum a day to practice and rehearse with bands, etc. I admire all your work. Thanks a lot." Nowadays, I really struggle to find the time to practice. Nowadays, it's just more playing. You know, I'll pick the guitar up and just improvise most of the time. As you've seen from the practice room videos. But back in the day, I didn't really have a practice. I'm one of those guys that preaches it all the time, you know, split your practice sessions up, spend half an hour on this, half an hour on that, you know, do this technique that you want to improve and blah, 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 blah. I've never done it, actually. If I'm totally honest, I've never done it. I can see the value in it completely, but as a player, I've never really had a practice routine where I've, say, done a particular thing for a set amount of time, then another, then another. I just played a lot and, you know, just focused on what I wanted to do. And it worked for me, you know. I'm not saying that that is going to work for everybody out there. Certainly isn't going to work for everybody out there, but it definitely worked for me. That being said, I think it's really good practice to have a practice routine. You know, that way you ensure that you cover all elements that you want to improve. So, you know, treat it like, because, you know, these days when I go to the gym, I split parts up, muscle groups up, so they get worked on more effectively, rather than a full body workout. You know, every time you go into the gym, you're not going to see great results that way. You know, it's going to burn you out. So it's a good idea to split your practice sessions up and you know, focus on where you want to take your playing and concentrate on those elements, you know, and try different things. You know, it's important to know how you get that, you know, be aware of the results that you get from set things. So a lot of it is, you know, intelligent practice rather than just practice, you know, and it comes back to being, again, self-aware of all these things. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you very much. Let's see. Here's one from Tim Van. I'm not going to pronounce the surname, sorry. It's, "Hi Rick, have you ever been approached by a guitar company to build your own custom guitar under their name? If so, why didn't you do it? Or if not, would you not like to do that?" I've not been approached by a company as yet to build a signature guitar. Usually that happens once you've established a relationship and you take it from there. You know, I've not heard of it that often that guitarists approach out the blue for that. You know, you have to build up a relationship with the company. You know, that's what an endorsement really is. You know, it's a relationship between you and the company. That being said, I have been approached by various different companies, but it's not been something that I really wanted to pursue. You know, if I am approached by a certain company and the relationship kicks off and it goes in the direction that I'd like it to go, and above all, I really dig their products, then potentially, yeah. But, you know, I have had offers. In fact, I had one funny offer recently, an email that started off, "Dear Eric." So it's a good idea, companies, if you're listening, to make sure you check your copy and paste in your emails and make sure you change the names. It was pretty funny reading that. Anyway, so hopefully that answers your question. Let's move on. I've had this question an awful lot, and it's about my transformation and current workouts, and it's about diet. And this one's from Ross Blythe, and honestly, my email box is crammed on a daily basis with people asking for, diet advice and what they should eat and everything else. I've also responded to somebody else asking this. I had planned on putting something up, but I'm putting it off because I feel that I need to know more about nutrition and training and everything else. I don't feel comfortable putting information out there when I don't feel that I'm ready to do so. So as soon as I feel ready to do so, then you'll hear about it from me. But in terms of diet, back when I was trying to lose the fat as a priority rather than build muscle, I was just careful with what I ate healthily, whole grain foods, a nice healthy balance of foods, cut out alcohol completely, and just ate healthily, and not to excess either. And it worked, So, I will go into detail at some point in the future, but not just yet. I need to feel comfortable with my own understanding of it all. So, okay, let's continue. Nick Thompson asks, album follow-up to your 2010 Inside Out album? I'm writing new stuff all the time. I mentioned in a previous Q&A that I really dig trance music, and a lot of the stuff that I'm writing has that kind of vibe to it. So I'm recording bits and bobs and riffs and ideas all the time and laying them down and just, storing them for when potentially another album will come up. But I'm so busy at the moment. In fact, the next couple of weeks it's just horrendously busy. I can't even think about all the stuff that I've got to do within that time. So there's nothing planned just yet. It may be 2014, maybe 2015, who knows, but I will get round to it at some point. So okay, here's one. It's from Angel, I don't know how to pronounce it, Krotnev. Hi Rick, I have a question about music writing in general. The problem I seem to be facing is not one of creativity but of structure. I write new music every day, but most of it consists of short riffs, licks and phrases that don't usually last longer than a few bars. The ideas are then stored on my hard drive for basically forever. What I want to do is get finished songs for me and my band, but I find it difficult to settle on forms and decide on a structure. So, what is your process of making music from simple idea to finished song? Exactly the same as you've mentioned, basically. I write little segments, store them away, then go back to them when I feel ready. Sometimes I'll actually write a complete song in one go, just depends how I feel. I'm not a prolific writer, I don't write a lot of material, but that's the way I go about it. Generally, that's the way it's worked for me over the years. I just write riffs, and sooner or later when I go back to it, an idea will come. A lot of the time though, in order to get ideas, I'll just listen to that part over and over again and just try and imagine hearing another part attached to that, and usually it comes. If I sit with it and listen to it and I concentrate hard enough, usually my ear will tell me what is meant to come next. So that's kind of how I approach it. But I would say that the majority of writers do exactly what you're doing, so it's no big deal. Try and get some ideas from other people, show them what you've got, and see where you can take it from there. So okay, Stuart McGilvray, if you had to go the rest of your life with one guitar, one pedal and one amp, what would they be? Oh, no idea. Probably a Strat, and I'm not really bothered about amps or pedals. So let's go with Pete Dixon. If you could write a note to your 16-year-old self, what advice on guitar playing and life would you give with the experience you have now? On guitar playing, I wouldn't give any advice because I wouldn't want to change the person that I am now. So I wouldn't say anything regarding guitar because, I might go a completely different route. So, I'm happy with the way it's gone, so I wouldn't say anything about guitar. About life, what I would potentially say is just be true to yourself, believe in yourself, believe in what you do. And don't get too caught up in what others think. You know, concentrate on what you do and put your heart and soul into it. And just be true to yourself. Be who you really are. Discover who you are, not what somebody else thinks, or not your perception of how you should be. Try and discover who you are. So that's what I would say to myself. Great question. Thanks, Pete. How are we doing for time? Got time for one more question. James Alexander Boyd asks, your life before the transformation, how did you get there, and most importantly, how did you get out of it, turning points, etc. Various different things. Various different things made me sort of snap out of it. I had moments when I was going to work on the transformation, but I just slipped back into the old way of doing it. It's really, really easy to do, you know, once you get into the routine of sitting on your backside. But at one point during May, somebody pointed out to me how bad I looked, in a very open way, if you ascertain my meaning. And that kind of did make me realise I have to do something. You know, it was a catalyst that helped me focus on the transformation. It's by no means the reason why I did the transformation at all. It was just something that made it click in my mind, you know, now is the time to do something about it. So, you know, once I'd made up my mind, that was it. You know, it's the same with anything. Once I've made up my mind to do it, I'm going to do it. And the way that my physique is going now, I've got a goal with my physique, and doesn't matter what happens, I am going to get there. Okay guys, that's it for this Q&A session. Don't forget to check out my new t-shirt store, link in description box below. All right, I'll catch up with you guys next time. Take care.